Good night, Capiche. What up,
Hey,
man? It feels good to
hey,
new location, y'all. New location, new spot. Something I'm working on. You know. Sorry,
something
it's been
like
sorry, it's been a very while. Sorry, it took me a while, y'all. But I wanted to get this right. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do this little room. However, I said it, I wanted to set it up right, smooth, and this is a test pilot. Also, I wanted to actually talk about some things that are going on. So I appreciate you going on. Also, I've been really sitting back and really thinking about how to run my show where it's always something Pacific, not just random, whatever, and have to take the extra details of going over whatever, and not and what I'm gonna do is not care how long the show is. I don't care. As long as the topic and it's being, we can go. As once as it dies down or it gets boring or whatever, then I'm just gonna end the show. Boom, tape it up, edit it, wrap it, and boom. I think that's how I'm gonna go. But I definitely want to start off my show with talking about I don't know the weird things that you see like on Facebook on the internet that kind of talk about that, and then venture that into the main topic, um, and on a good note, a good message from everybody, even if we don't agree on something. Then hey, get on out. I think that's how I want to run the show. Jotty, are you with me? Just let me know you be with me one
I'm
time.
with you. I'm with you.
Okay, so that's cool. Now, y'all, I'm with Jotty, and we've been talking. Well, no, I had him wanted him to go over this video. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it.
I watched it too. Okay, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, and I really should have titled this way better than what I wanted to do. The reason why I really want to talk about this socialist versus capitalism because yet again, it is getting more into what this world and what society is looking like. Okay, no matter how somebody views, most people view America as they either like capitalism, like how America is going, or they want socialism because they feel like they're not getting enough. Okay, you have socialist people who run on the socialist market actually winning in places and areas. So you're starting to see socialist activists kick in. You start to see people do their thing. So yet again, this is something I feel like that should be more brought up and talked about. Johnny, before we get into the video, was there anything about the video you would like to discuss before we get into it? Anything about it
Nothing that really, you know,
stuck out?
that stuck out, but I did like how, some of the people, even on both sides, were coming to agree on certain things. So that was pretty interesting.
That was pretty, and that's something that I I have always seen. I don't know why it seems like society is a blind eye to that. I guess it just really depends on what discussion you pick and choose. But when it really comes down to that, I always figured that everybody had some middle ground compared to um, how they really truly looked at a situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we hear about something, we quick to have an opinion, but when you learn something, you generally gravitate to the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember any other props you want to start off on?
No, I don't really remember the props. I was hoping because I only watched the video one time, so I didn't
Me
really
too.
I didn't watch it a few times. You know what I mean? So it was like a quick little run through where I just let it play and I'm just listening to it, and so
Okay. So just because of that, I'm gonna start on this prompt right here.
okay.
And then after that, we'll pick it up from there, ask questions and go on. And then just go back because I want people to understand this for reference. Between me and you, I have way more of a capitalist mindset of thinking. And you have somewhat of a socialist idea. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't really call you a socialist, even though I have called you a socialist. But I'm just being respectful. You know what I'm saying? I have
Amen.
called you one, but you know what I'm saying? You
I'm
know what I'm
kind of like I'm not fully sold on the Democratic Socialist Party. I would say I do have some sort of socialist values. I would say that, but I'm not 100% sold on the Democratic
right.
social, what I'm saying, thing. But,
But
you know.
without further ado, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, also, we could go over another thing. So I guess they had legalized in one state. I forgot what state. I think it's Massachusetts. But they legalized the death, the abortion of a baby can be done all the way up until death.
Burke.
I mean, until
Yes.
birth. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that, but
You seen that too? That
now
was crazy.
that's crazy. But I'd rather be on here with two females, or at least two females. So you get, what I'm saying, a broader mind plus however, what I'm saying, whatever we say and however we gonna take this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause trust me. But I have, you know what, I'm gonna get into that later. Let's stick to this one. Right now we're gonna get into a little.
You the percentages
But the percentage
of all of the houses.
there needs to be a number.
Okay,
there.
hold on. Why we can't hear?
Economic inequality is the root of most social problems.
Okay, let's see. I think I did something wrong. Well, of course I did something wrong. We can't hear.
Domestic violence, you can regress pretty much any issue on inequality. And I
Why we
think
can't hear
that
this?
there's a pretty clear link that that's the problem.
You can't hear either, can you?
I can hear it.
You can?
Yeah.
Why can't I hear? Ah, okay. Hold on. Let me catch up to y'all.
Itself, and we try to compensate for that in many ways through distribution, but I think it'd be hard to make a case that something else is worse than economic inequality. Yeah,
I agree. It's a knock-on effect. You have economic inequality. It leads to people being unstable in them being able to feed and house themselves, being able to support their families, being able to survive. We live in a society that requires you to have a certain amount of money to survive in a livable way. So, of course, the inequality in economic stability is going to be a central cause of societal ills.
Yeah, and I think too with the different intersections, like Black and Brown communities, queer communities, disabled, like you mentioned, domestic violence. We already have a society set up a certain way, and being such like a capitalist society, that when all these other intersections come into play, it, like we've said, causes more, inequality within it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you look at the vast majority of crime or any other social, like monetary factors are what drive a lot of it. Even if you look at stuff like domestic violence, you could even break that down and say, hey, look, because we're having financial problems in our marriage or whatever the case may be, that can cause the issue.
Johnny.
Yeah.
When people think about violence, they go right to that. Oh, it's somebody else's fault and problem that I'm going through this, so that's why You know what I'm saying? Majority of people. And you can say, yes, being poor probably going to lead to some type of breaking the law accessibility. But then in the same breath, when people say that, they also say that rich people break the law too. That's how they stay rich. They don't do the same things. And I'm like, okay, so it's just like, which is, two things can be true. I get it. But which is more, you know what I'm saying, inaccurate for as poor versus rich? Because, that's, to be honest with anybody, when people look at socialism versus capitalism, that's how they look at it. I'm only being blunt like that because that's how people look at it. When they look at capitalist versus socialist, they be like, capitalist is rich people, socialist is poor people. So you trying to tell me that, hey, I'm only robbing a bank, I'm only stealing from a candy store, I'm only evading taxes because I'm poor. But then I can also say that I'm doing the same thing because
Yeah, that's quite true.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But far as economics, this is where I would like people, and I need to find a way to really figure out how to do this, is understand that we vote a certain way for positive things to happen in your neighborhood. But once it get put in a certain neighborhood or is funded by a certain group, that's where the discord happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's just go a little bit further.
And so it's, if you have everything like better distributed, then I think that you would solve a lot of, not all crime, but the vast majority of it for sure.
And I'm a survivor of domestic violence, so I can definitely attest to like the financial abuse aspect of why some people can stay longer than like we'd want to, is because we can't get out from under, like, where are we going to go, like to the street, it's a worse situation or scenario than the one we know, unfortunately. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think one thing I can think of is housing insecurity, a major issue in my view of why there's such a problem with housing and with not just homelessness, but people having inadequate housing, is accumulation of capital ownership of real property, So I feel like that inherent in equal structure ends up having people, not be able to afford housing. It brings the price.
Sir,
Hmm.
is there a problem with a person owning more than one house home? Is it a problem with more than one person owning a house or a home?
I think so.
Okay. Can you elaborate, please?
I mean, especially when it comes down to necessity. I think that's what it all boils down to. Necessity. Like, do you need that house? What's your plans for that house? Do you plan on moving into that house eventually, or you know what I mean? So
So we should, real estate people own more houses. People who,
I mean, if you're
have a-
selling houses, okay.
okay, I have a lot of kids. I can't house them all in one house. What's the
That's
biggest?
fine.
Okay, cool. I have a house I live in, but I'm thinking about starting another business, and I just want that house. I'm really not occupying it, but yet again, I can afford
You're buying it to help fund your business.
it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't see too much wrong with that.
So
Especially
my
if it was multi-family.
okay, so yet again, I have one child. I have a home. I pay rent. If I had bought another home to, you know what I'm saying, establish another business, because yet again, I figure it's a tax write-off. I might not occupy it. I might not do nothing with it. I might just have it just to have it. You know what I'm saying? Because yet again, it's a tax write-off. Is that a problem?
I mean, I would say it's more of a problem for it being a tax write-off than anything. Then,
So
but also, yeah, because then that's just doing it because just to do it, you know.
doing it because yet again, it helps me get taxes right off, more taxes. Therefore, I can spend money on whatever I'm doing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what socialists have a small problem. That's what he has a problem with. He was like, well, in the market of housing, if a company, you know what I'm saying, for instance, I know people didn't hear about what happened in California where they went on a whole block of new houses and most of them were bought out, but nobody lived there. People started saying they seen a stench. They broke into the house where they got warrants, went into these houses, and known these houses was ingrown grow houses.
Wow.
That's something of what he has a problem with. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I got a problem with that. I have a problem with uh,
The misuse of it.
another, especially when it comes from another country. When another country comes over here and buys up homes and houses, and then do something like that, and then yet again you have prioritized what is it, public housing for people that are affordable, and then you exit that out because people don't want domestic violent type people in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we always, and these people in here is always going to allude to the poor. I don't want the poor. I don't like how the poor and the poor and the poor. But then I would have to argue that the poor that we're arguing about, that we're talking about getting off the streets, is not as big as we thought. Like how it's portrayed. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of my favorite phrase to use, military age body people who has no direction and that are homeless on the streets with no career minded path.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps the market open for houses for around people. Because if I'm a realtor and I'm trying to sell to you, you're 23, you're 30, but yet again you're homeless, you have no potential, you have no get up and go, you're not trying to. I can't deal with you, right? You're not making me no money because yet again this is a business. I got to eat too, right? So that's why businesses get swallowed up in homes and real estate and don't get spread it out equally, because everything financially is a business. Somewhere
Somewhat.
where somewhere where somebody's not getting some not getting fed, somebody's not going to eat because we want to subsidize. Make sense? Don't make sense?
Yeah, but some would also allude to the fact that, you know, there's not a livable wage to afford a home, you know. So what do you say to those people?
I said it's not a livable wage, most likely because you have 3 or more kids.
So is America not for my family then?
No, America is for your family. You're choosing probably a economically poor way to go about trying to get your family in the right state.
So whose fault is that? Is that the system or
Person.
why the person?
Because yet again, if we can sit on here for real, and break down every group and how there's something out there for them to help them. And if we can do that, then what's the problem?
Sometimes it's just the wage.
How is the wage? Because yet again, if I don't like what I'm getting paid somewhere, you can go somewhere else. Yes or no?
And the fact that I have to find a job that pays enough for me to house my family is the issue in and of itself, which is why they say that, hey, housing is a necessity. That shouldn't be something that I have to work for.
Then you
That should be
should.
something that's a given.
How am I gonna give you a crib if you don't want it?
Well, what are you talking about?
I-
You gotta want to give it first.
we want to give you a house, but we want to give you the opportunity for you to get a house. Because
But
there's a
you're
person.
not.
Go ahead.
In order for me to get the house, I have to go to school for 2 years. So you want me to suffer for 2 years with 3 kids before I can get into the house that I can afford? That makes completely no sense.
But see, I wouldn't say that. I would say that's systematic scandal.
That is a systematic scandal
You
because
know, the first
I
thing
s-
the first thing I would tell a kid at 18 years old, because my son is coming up soon. So
that's not ideal though for everybody. But go ahead.
what's the idea? What I finna say or what I just said?
The situation at hand is not ideal for everyone. But go ahead.
This blueprint that I'm finna tell you, every single 18-year-old kid can do, I guarantee, in life, period. And yes, for some, it's going to be harder than others, but the outcome is going to be magnifique. And if somebody would have told me that and really pushed that, like, yo, this is how you in the future, you won't be financially worried about money, I promise you. At the age of 18, you start yourself life insurance. You put $100 into life insurance. You're gonna be like, oh, that's hard. No, it's not. Because if we look at the percentage of 18-year-old kids that are still staying at home with their kids, it's more than those who are out on their own. So yes, it's able for you to take your little ass to work while you're working, while you're trying to figure out school, unless you're off to college. But yes, again, you still can do it. That life insurance policy has more beneficial benefits for self and your future and your kids than damn near anything out there. Because you're paying it to yourself. What thing you don't teach your kids, and I wish you would, and I promise you, is investing into yourself. Yourself is the best risk to take in life. It's the best. Why? Because you know your weakness, you know your failures, so you know how much to buy into yourself when you're in this and you know when to pull out because you're fit to leave. That's how the stock market does. But yet again, treat yourself like a stock market. I'm finna invest in myself. The best way to invest in myself is life. Because what? Whose life is it? Mine. Life insurance. Now, you can't do it $100. I'm just saying $100 is $1 million towards yourself with a guarantee of $400, $400,000 to pull out for any emergencies or businesses or anything of yourself within 6 months of an investment. I mean, no, my bad, 20 to 40,000 first pull out, and that first 40, 20,000 right there is something you already invested in yourself that you pull out. They're your home. They're your down payment on the home. They're your down payment on your first car. Wait till you're 19. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Get your driver's license. Wait 1 more year. I get it. It's going to be hard. Are your friends? Whatever. Uber it. All right. I would have told my son, for real, catch the bus. It's cheaper. Understanding that when you get a certain age, 18, when you get 19 of doing this, plus getting a credit card while you're still staying at home with your parents, while you're still young and dumb and full of cum and just want to get out here and fuck. You should be doing these steps right here. I promise you are A1 steps. I promise you the other race of people are doing that to their kids. Matter of fact, they're doing it to their kids behind their backs. Like, you're not going to do it. I'm going to do it for you. Because I don't know what my kids are going to get into. I don't know what type of lifestyle my kids are going to have. So the best beneficial for my kids and investment for my kids is life insurance. Or secondly, for the parent, go get your LLC. Bro, you get an LLC, start reading the Bible study, make it a business. Yet again, hire your kids, make your, you know what I'm saying, hire your kids. So therefore, every revenue investment in your check, when you go get a loan from a bank or start up business, there you go to your kids. Now your kids get income. Now your kids got a bank account. Now your kids got a jump start. These are things in the Black community, I didn't want to say it, but it slipped out. I had to. That needs to be number one started. Started at 16 for real. If I could right now, right now, I would have to go get permission. You know what I'm saying? But I will go through that. Can I go get life insurance for this child? Do y'all have it? Man, I'm telling you, dog. Capitalism, because you can capitalize on so much. Shaking a man's hand, saying, hey, how you doing, can get you further than you sitting there reading them books. And ain't nothing wrong with reading them books. I think books are highly important. Okay. But sitting in the classroom reading them books is not worth it, where you can go get an internship reading a book, getting it in, learning while growing, learning from your mistakes. Oh, that didn't work, so let me not try that. Oh, that worked. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Us poor people, you can't tell me, Johnny, that poor people do not be where the rich people be. No, we don't be in their clubs. No, we don't be at their place where they eat. Not on the time. But dog, rich people be just in the same places we be. They want to kick it in the same places we want to kick it. Yet again, rich people started off in the same places we started off. I'm talking about MySpace, Facebook, all these billionaires from there on up. Them people didn't start off with millions of bucks. They started off with an idea. Dude, people don't even know that Facebook started off with a kid hacking a payphone. Oh yeah, people won't tell you about that story. So we would think, oh no, it started off because he had $1 million. He was a good investor. He boo. Nah, started off with him as a kid hacking a payphone, teaching it to all his friends first. All his friends ain't got to pay 50 cents to get on a payphone. You would have never know where idea come from. And under socialism, that's where your ideas get shandered. That's where your ideas get blocked. That's where your ideas don't grow because, yet again, you're under a system where we all got to be on the same playing field. So why are you doing this? What you making over there? What you making? I need to make. Go ahead.
I would say that's not necessarily true as far as like under socialism, that's what happened. I would think anything that's for the greater good, to push the greater good of humanity, that idea will always prevail. Will it make you richer than everybody else? If that's your purpose of doing it, and you're in it for the wrong game. But if you're in it to help better make life easier, then that's what it's all about. Rather how much money that would make you. I believe that's another story for another day. But I don't think that ideas will not be brought
Hindered.
forth. Yeah, I don't think they'll be hindered.
Hindered under. Okay, so like all the brightest minds, all the smartest people all over the world, right? So you got poor countries that have smart people. Instead of them toughing it out and building a better way for their own country, they leave their country and make another country like America better. So then their country never gets the opportunity to become a good country or a better country. Why I say that? Because all the greats are your best people. Where did they leave from? Socialist countries. Venezuela, Puerto Rico, some parts of Africa. China. Richest country in the world. Yes, true indeed. But who's getting rich in China?
No one. It's. I don't think it's about getting rich. The capitalist mindset. It's always about rich. Who's getting rich? Who's making the most money? And that's not That's just the the complete opposite of socialism. It's more so how can I help people, not more
How
so
can I
how
help?
can I get rich.
Okay, that's true. But you want to help people that want to help themselves, right? I get that.
Even if they don't want to help themselves, they could still be offered to them. You know,
Okay, so for the homeless people out here, are there places that help them?
many places even charge them to pay there, to stay there, to pay.
So there are places that help homeless people. There are places
So
for
yeah,
homeless
there's
people
some.
that okay.
We could say some. Yeah.
So there are places for people that are unable to go. There are places for them to go, right?
What do you mean by that?
Are there programs and places for, I guess you would call disabled people to go to get a home?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are help in a capitalistic world.
Mm-hmm.
But most people say there's not enough help or it's not equal help.
Right.
The rich stay richer and the poor stay poor,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what if the rich stay richer and the poor get rich? That's where you get a separation of poor and middle class. Hmm?
I could. I know you. The last thing I heard was something about getting a separation between the poor and the middle class.
What I had said was, so if there is, like you said, poor gets poor and the rich get rich, you say agree. I said, what if the rich get rich but the poor get rich? It's called middle class.
Okay.
Okay. You think that'll happen in a socialistic world?
I think there will only be a middle class.
I think there'll only be a poor class.
No, I think there'll be middle.
There wouldn't be no middle. There's no such thing as middle.
I mean, not to the equation that you were,
Under
but there will
socialism,
be. Everyone's not poor in the socialist, but everyone isn't rich. It's a middle class. But at the end of the day, that wouldn't exist. Rich wouldn't exist.
um, in a country like Venezuela, most of everybody out there is poor.
Okay. What resources do we have in America that Venezuela don't?
Oil,
Forget the
gas.
system. We got resources. We
What,
have
res-
enough resource.
what resources that we have that Venezuela don't have,
Yeah.
besides the government system?
Yeah.
Gold,
Right.
um,
Right.
guns,
Mm-hmm.
different fruits and vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
ships to export, um, military.
We have a richer society, and it's not because of its it's e-commerce. It's not because of what's being put out. It's just because of what we produce as a country. Necessarily their system or classes. Our resources. We got more resources than them. So that would make our socialist people, would they would have more than Venezuelans would.
But then we have open borders too.
No, we wouldn't have to have open borders.
You need to start listening to what these socialist people are really out here talking about, sir. They talking about
Well,
open borders.
Well,
And
some may say that, some may not.
I'm for the people that are running a socialist class for America. They want open borders for all. They want to defund prisons and police and the Pentagon.
Yeah, I'm not for all of that. I don't think the police needs to be defunded. I mean,
That's
they will probably think that the police will need to be defunded if they think that, you know, the reason as to why there is crime is because of poverty. Now, that's an extreme to say that. I don't think poverty or,
they're just like
you know,
saying,
that,
oh, because I got $1 million child molesting dude is not gonna look at kids and
you
lust for
know,
kids. Whatever have him lust for
so yeah,
kids has nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
A person who lusts for guns and just wanna shoot them up, bang bang with anybody and everybody has nothing to do with financial or what you call it, because he wants to shoot them up and bang bang with anybody.
Yeah.
Now, when people say crime rate will go down and stuff, no, it would not, because people at all sorts are still gonna want more. And yet again, when we all have to pay for something equally, that means something's not gonna be spread it out equally because you're still gonna run out of it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna run out of it 10 times faster because now everybody can equally get it. So your favorite whatever is definitely not gonna be on the shelf no more. Damn, why my favorite donut ain't there no more?
Nah, you never know. It may still be there. You never know. Because now you got people people aren't working because they're afraid that they're gonna lose their house or anything. They could work because
How about do people really wake up afraid that they're gonna lose something when they are just
one
working?
paycheck away from not having a house or not paying their bills. Now I wouldn't say not paying their bills, but not being able to. You know, that's a scarcity. I don't think people should ever live in
I
that.
seen somebody like that. There was one paycheck away of so-called doing that, or they're in a hole or in a debt, but then they wind up at the bar chilling, buying drinks.
Yeah, you know why? Because they're depressed. That's
They
what
end up
depression do. It
they end
makes you
up in
want to get your mind off of your situation.
but you got to get through the situation so you can get out of it.
Yeah, tell that to the person that's suffering. It's so easy to say it, yeah, but people suffer.
I get it. I don't walk in them shoes of suffering,
All right, so
but I
that's
didn't
the
end
great.
up. I didn't go to the lengths of let me get out of here for a minute. Go take a quick break.
It ain't that. I wouldn't say that's the thought behind it. I mean, the thought behind it is, man, what am I gonna do? I'm just out of it. I don't know. I just don't want to live anymore. Forget this life.
So I'm gonna take a quick vacation.
No, that's not it. Nah, I'm gonna take a quick. And even that doesn't help. Nothing.
But do you know that's how it looks to society when they post?
I better do, but that ain't what it is. I know it could look like a million different things.
Person just
But
called you, hey man, let me borrow like $200, man. I really need it, dog. My line's finna be out. You be like, man, I ain't got it right now, but if I had it, I got you. You know what I'm saying, right? Okay, 30 minutes, dog. I'm at the. I thought you had to take that drink with that last 30 because you didn't make that 200. I wasn't there anyway.
Depression.
We gotta stop that. And I'm speaking like people probably look at me like, "Damn, you never been through that?" Yes, I have. That's why I'm like, damn, that's just something we are going to have to stop. Especially with this last situation I just went through. Of course, I didn't even want to make a quick phone call because I was like, you know what, I'll do it in the morning.
Yeah.
Somebody in my ear was like, no, call him right now. I'm like, damn. It turned out to be one of the smoothest phone calls I ever took. Just saying. I'm just saying, man. We speculate so much, you know what I'm saying, and it's way easier to speculate than to actually boom, 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 because we done had maybe one or two hiccups in our lives. And I get it. Everybody done went through a hiccup, but everything is not a hiccup. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not a fuck up. We gotta really stop putting our mindsets through the fuck ups just because. For you. For real. It's damaging to knock ourselves because I done talked myself out of so much shit. I have. I talked myself. I have definitely invested in things before other people were investing in certain stuff. I was just, kind of on my little wave, doing my little thing, like, oh, let me pick up this. I think this is hard. And somebody said something, woo, made fun of, and I'm like, maybe they right. And then end up it being one of the most popular things around. I'm like, fuck. You know?
Yeah.
And for real, that done happened twice to me so far.
Man.
To where now I'm playing catch up.
Man, your time coming.
Sure, I guess. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep thugging, keep pushing at something. You know what I'm saying, to some click. But I just be peeping that, and then I understand the steps that took me to get to that place of didn't accomplish something to only if I would have just stuck with it and just like, you know what I'm saying, ignored the noise.
Man. Life
And,
is full of those,
And then, yeah, because, people be trying to have your best interest, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just don't know. You be want to say just motivate everything and everybody, you know what I'm saying? I guess when you think something's negative and somebody's positive, happy, I think we should just, I guess, motivate, push them into it. But then for those who run into people like, man, it was a bad income, you see how this, like, hey, I'm just trying to motivate you. You should have told me not to. Well, hell. It's always a double-edged sword in life that people go through and stuff like that. Yeah.
Not capping.
That's why I'm just keep pushing what I'm pushing, keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, just try to do things a little bit different or a lot more different. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know, but I do know. And yet again, that's another thing I'd be like, we need to stop too, because when you do know, just say it, because you do know. I think that I don't know is the one thing to knock you from going forward with the program.
Yeah. I think you got this though. You know, you're
Yeah.
noticing these things.
Yeah, because I be talking to myself like, boy, I talk to myself like a kid getting on a horse and don't know what he doing. Because I do have to understand that watching, you know what I'm saying, watching my mistakes, talking about my mistakes and stuff like that, and then practicing what I preach, especially because I'm on a podcast, from nobody watching me to somebody watching me, you know what I'm saying? I always seem to amaze somebody. So therefore, I do know I'm doing something right. I don't know. I've never been pushed over the edge, but maybe I need that just to see what that feels like, I guess.
Nah, you good.
Hey, some people don't like pushing. Some people like, don't push me. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready when I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Some people like push. I don't mind pushing, but you know what I'm saying? I wonder what happens if I get pushed over the edge over something that I like to do so much. Because I can only do what? Fall or fly.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anytime that you're watching this. I appreciate you guys watching this. And with that, I'm definitely going to say good night, capiche.
Good night.
This motherfucker is locked.
Talking, I'm in love, baby.